They are both in a relationship, but I want it
for myself.
Can you help me, Chi?
I thought you are in a relationship with my friend Adanne.
I never really loved Adanne.
I just wanted to use her as a medium to get to you.
She was the bait for the bigger fish.
But soon, her surprise was replaced with pride in Afika's words. She felt elated knowing that the rich trader loved her, not Adanne, and was merely using Adanne to get close to her. In the village of Umuche, there were two families, the family of Mr. Iheanacho and Mr. Ifedish. These two families had a daughter each among their many sons. And due to the closeness of these families, their only two daughters, Adanne and Adaku, became very close friends. Indeed, the best of friends. Adanne and Adaku were very beautiful and intelligent young girls. Though Adanne was slightly prettier than Adaku, they had many things in common. They were both good cooks, hunters, and dancers. This made their friendship even stronger, as they always had a lot of things to do together in their leisure time. They had been friends since childhood and had been together for over 15 years. The strength of their friendship and bond was well known throughout the entire Umuche village. Parents would tell their children to form friendships like the one between Adanne and Adaku. Girls would tell their peers that they wanted to be friends with Adanne and Adaku, and parents would say, "Look at you, Neka. See how you and your friend are always quarreling and making noise in the entire compound. Don't you see how Adanne and Adaku are? Do you ever see them barking at each other like this? Try to be like them." When Adanne and Adaku passed through the marketplace, they would always hold each other's hands, staring at each other with admiration and laughing heartily at each other's jokes, much to the delight of all who beheld them. The market women would say among themselves, "See how happy these two are with each other. I hope my Neka can find a friend who will make her this happy, not that stupid and catchy." Each had their own share of praises for Adanne and Adaku's friendship. One day, when Adanne and Adaku were passing through the market, chatting and laughing as usual, Adaku felt very pressed. She needed a spot to urinate, and when she told her friend Adanne, they began combing through the busy market looking for a good spot for Adaku. Finally, they found a large oak tree behind the market, and Adaku decided to urinate behind the tree while Adanne would stand and watch from a nearby distance. As Adaku was urinating, Adanne spotted one of the largest branches of the oak tree about to fall, and it was directly above the spot where her friend was. She shouted, "Adaku, watch out. Shift out from that spot. A huge tree branch is about to fall on you." Adanne shouted anxiously to Adaku, who remained in the same spot, urinating. "But Adanne, I'm almost done now," Adaku said adamantly. Adanne knew how stubborn her friend could be at times. She also knew how fragile her friend was, and if the branch fell on her, it might actually be her end. So before Adaku could even finish her statement, Adanne had already leaped to the spot where she was and pushed her out. She had successfully saved her friend, but just as she was about to save herself, it was already too late, as the branch immediately fell on her, injuring her on the left side of her face, which ended up with a big permanent scar on her left cheek. The incident, however, did not weaken the bond between Adanne and Adaku. The scar did not make Adanne or any of her family members resent Adaku, nor did it make her any less beautiful, as she was already a charming beauty on her own, with or without the mark. 2 months later, Adanne's mother sent her to the village stream to fetch water for their daily activities at home. As Adanne was carrying her pot on her head on her way to the stream, she met an opulently dressed, handsome, middle-aged man who greeted her warmly, causing her to stop. "Good day, beautiful lady," the richly dressed man said to her. Adanne stopped and turned around. She studied the man a bit before replying, "Good morning, sir. I'm sorry, I don't know you. You greet me as if you know who I am." The man replied with a smile, "Oh, my apologies. Sorry for the lack of introduction. I am Afika, a trader. I sell batik wares across the market," he said, still smiling. "Oh, that's very nice," said Adanne thoughtfully. "I am Adanne, but my friends and family members call me Ada for short. So you can call me that as it is easier to pronounce." She and Afika had a little conversation, but then Adanne had to excuse herself to fetch the water her mother had sent her for. "I have to be leaving. My mother will be waiting for me by now. It was such a pleasure knowing you. By the way, said the delighted Adanne. The man responded with a smile, and then asked if they could meet at that spot again, which Adanne readily agreed to before she left after bidding him farewell. Adanne came the next day, as she had promised. She and Afika continued meeting up for days, weeks, and even months. Their bond grew stronger and stronger, and soon, they were in a relationship. Adaku had once heard Adanne talking about her wealthy trader lover, Afika. Adanne had told her about it occasionally, and Adaku was anything but happy about it. She couldn't believe that Adanne would get a lover before her, much less a very rich man, given that her own face was still intact and not scarred like Adanne's. Adaku knew Afika very well and the kind of designs he sold. They weren't clothes for small children. He was a very wealthy man in their land, in fact, one of the richest cloth dealers in the entire Umuche land. I wonder what he even sees in her, Adaku thought to herself. Of all the maidens in this land, is it someone with a very big mark on her face that he chose? The charm she used on him must be really strong. Adanne had also noticed some very strange new behaviors and attitudes in her friend after she had told her about her relationship with Afika. Adaku would easily get irritated and annoyed by virtually anything and everything Adanne said, and would shout at her at every slight provocation, which was very unlike her. She would also refuse to go to some places with Adanne. "Don't bother about following me, Adanne. I can go on my own," Adaku would frequently say. Adanne found it very strange, as she and Adaku had always gone everywhere together, but she always respected her friend's decision. She even tried talking to Adaku to see if there was any misunderstanding causing the problem, but Adaku would usually wave her off with a laugh, saying that she was just overthinking things and that they were still the good friends they had always been. Adaku told her she was just stressed out and that was why she acted the way she did sometimes. Adanne, oblivious to the main reason behind Adaku's strange attitude, believed her friend, thinking that Adaku's new job as a cleaner at the market square was probably what was stressing her out, so she didn't bring up the topic again. Meanwhile, Adaku, still burning with jealousy, had been thinking of a plan to snatch Adanne's man from her, but nothing was coming to her mind, so she went to one of her sister-in-laws, the wife of her immediate younger brother, to seek advice. She was the closest to her among all her sister-in-laws, and they discussed very intimate matters. They were like friends. One day, as her sister-in-law Chidimna was sweeping their house, Adaku entered and greeted. "How far, Chidimna? It has been so long." They hugged each other, and her sister-in-law offered her a seat. They began discussing light topics, but somewhere in the middle of their conversation, Adaku started to talk about the main reason for her visit. "Chi," as she fondly called her. "Chi, I have something to tell you." "Go on, I'm all ears," Chidimna replied, staring at her intently. Adaku took a deep breath, and then started. "Chi, you know Afika, right?" Chidimna gave her a thoughtful nod before asking. "The one who sells expensive batik wears at the market square, right?" Adaku nodded enthusiastically. "Yes, that one." Chidimna then replied, "Yes, I know him. Is there a problem?" "He is in a relationship with Adanne," Adaku began, then stopped abruptly to study her sister-in-law's face for any emotions, but Chidimna's expression remained impassive. She then continued, "They are both in a relationship, but I want him for myself. I don't even know what he sees in that idiotic face. He is rich and handsome. I want him, Chi, but I don't actually know how to go about it. Can you help me, Chi?" She finally asked pleadingly. Chidimna, who had been listening to Adaku attentively, just stared at her blankly. After a long, tense silence, she then turned to Adaku and said, "I thought Adanne had removed all the senses from your skull. I honestly didn't know you still had some left. It was high time you asked. I had even noticed that something was going on between those two. Of course, I will help you. With my plan, you will be sure to take Afika away from that wench. After all, you are prettier and more perfect. Show him that you deserve him more than she does." "Overtaking is still allowed," Chidimna said, smiling evilly. She herself had snatched Adaku's brother, who she was now married to, from his longtime lover. So coming up with such schemes wasn't new to her at all. "Come closer, Adaku," Chidimna said, beckoning Adaku, who drew close at once. She then started whispering things into Adaku's ear, and slowly, Adaku's face began to glow with an evil smile. "Thank you, Chi, I knew I could always count on you," she said, glowing after Chidimna had finished whispering. "Anytime, dear," Chidimna replied, With that, they bade each other farewell, and Adaku went home. One afternoon on an Eek market day, Adaku had finished her job for the day and decided to check if Afika was around at his shop, as her workplace was very close to his shop. When she confirmed he was still there, and, better still, alone, she decided it was time to act. She went to a small abandoned storehouse at the back of the market and changed into the seductive clothes she had bought and put in her bag specifically for that agenda. She then covered herself with a long shawl and stopped at Afika's shop, which was enclosed and hidden from the general market. When she entered the shop, she saw Afika offloading a new batch of batik clothes. As if just noticing her, Afika left the clothes he was offloading and then turned to her with a smile. "Good afternoon, Adaku. How are you doing?" Afika asked. "Wow, so you even know me?" "I didn't even know," Adaku replied, feigning surprise, her voice sounding husky and seductive. "Are you not Adaku, Adanne's friend?" he said. "Of course I know you." "Okay," she said, still speaking seductively while touching Afika's shoulders lightly. "I'm done with my work, and I don't want to go home now, as it is still too early. I don't have anything to do now, so maybe I can help you while we get to know each other better," she said, still with a seductive voice. "Don't worry, man. It's okay. I can manage it on my own," Afika said, but Adaku kept on insisting, attempting to touch the batik clothes while her shawl mistakenly slipped off, revealing the seductive clothing she was wearing underneath. Afika began eyeing her curves greedily. She pretended to reach for her shawl to cover herself when a hand stopped her and grabbed her, pinning her to the wall. "Do you know just how beautiful you are, Adaku?" Afika said, his voice laced with lust. Thank you," Adaku replied, feigning innocence. Afika attempted to kiss Adaku, but she stopped him. "Afika, but I thought you were in a relationship with my friend Adanne. You know that this thing is not right," she told Afika, still feigning innocence. Afika stared at her intently for a while, and then said, "I never really loved Adanne. I just wanted to use her as a medium to get to you, seeing that she was the most open and easily accessible one. Knowing how strong the bond you both share is, I knew that if I could access her, she would help open the way for me to you. So enough of this Adanne talk. It was you, and it is still you I want. Adanne was just merely the bait for the bigger fish. Come to think of it, how would I love a girl with a big scar on her face over a fresh maiden like you?" he said as he ran his hands over Adaku's cheeks. "I like you." Adaku was a bit taken aback by his words. Even if she had expected her plan to work out, she didn't expect that Afika, who had been all lovey-dovey with a friend, would say such things about her and their relationship. But soon, her surprise was replaced with pride at Afika's words. She felt elated knowing that the rich trader loved her, not Adanne, and was merely using Adanne to get close to her. "Oh, I see," she replied. "I actually like you too, Afika," she added, smiling. She finally allowed Afika to kiss her, and soon, they were already making out in Afika's shop. When they were done, Afika told Adaku about his house beside the market and invited her to visit him there whenever she needed to see him. She then bade Afika farewell and went home. Adaku kept on visiting Afika at his house from time to time. Afika was also seeing Adanne at the spot where they had first met. One day, Adanne decided to surprise Afika with a plate of egusi soup and pounded yam she had specially prepared for him. It was already evening, so she knew it was too late to take the food to Afika's shop, as it would be highly unlikely that he would be around by that time. Afika had once told her during their conversations that he had a house beside the market square where he usually retired after the day's work, so she decided to take the food there. When she got there, she knocked on the door, but there was no response. Instead, she could only hear muffled sounds that sounded like moans. Bewildered, she decided to open the door to see what was making those sounds, and why no one was answering the door despite the fact that the house wasn't empty. When she opened the door, she was shocked beyond words. "A child? Yes, a child, your highness. She will bear a female child, and the child will be called Akachi."
That's true. But why Ezima?
"Your highness, I can see doom in many years to come, a very great doom. She was given that name by the gods because the gods have chosen to use your daughter for her salvation. So do not speak about changing her gender again, lest you bring the anger of the gods upon you." The chief priest then left the palace, leaving the king to his scattered thoughts.